Take calculated risks to achieve great success while you're still young. Today, I sit here imagining myself standing in the heart of Las Vegas, neon lights gleaming, the air charged like a high-stakes poker game. In this piece, we're diving into an inspiring topic: taking risks and betting big to move forward in life. This isn't some empty motivational talk or a boring lecture. These are real lessons spiced with a bit of humor drawn from my own journey, from a broke kid to someone living a life worth dreaming of. We'll explore why going against the crowd, betting on yourself, and embracing failure aren't just acts of courage. They're the keys that help you not only survive, but shine brilliantly. Life is a gamble. Do you dare to bet? If you think playing it safe and doing what everyone else does will make you successful, you're dead wrong, my friend. Life is like a game at the casino. If you just sit there watching others play, you'll never win big. I used to be that kid who grew up poor, in a neighborhood where having a full meal was a luxury. But I always dreamed of something more: a beautiful house, a nice car, and the freedom to do what I love. The journey from that dream to reality wasn't easy. But there's one thing I've learned: success only comes when you dare to take risks. Now, imagine me standing right in front of you, eyes burning with passion, saying, if you want a life that truly matters, stop doing what everyone else is doing. Bet on yourself. Here's my story and some real hard-earned lessons to help you take that daring leap and achieve something extraordinary. Secret has shown: go against the crowd. Don't do what everyone else does. One of the biggest mistakes most people make is following the crowd. They go to college because everyone does, take office jobs because it's stable, and live average lives because that's just how life works. But you know what? Every truly successful person in this world, from Elon Musk to Steve Jobs, reached the top because they didn't do what everyone else was doing. I remember being 18, standing in a long line that stretched for blocks to register for college. I looked around at all the students holding notebooks and pens and thought, if I do exactly what they're doing, study business, get a degree, get a job, how can I ever become wealthy? I'll just be another ordinary person. That thought hit me like a punch in the face. It made me realize that if I wanted to be different, I had to take a different path. For example, while my friends settled for hourly jobs paying $10 or $12, I aimed for something bigger. I once worked at a fast food place, making milkshakes for minimum wage $4.25 an hour. Watching older coworkers doing the same thing for years, I thought, I don't want to be 40 and still standing here. So I quit, even though I had no idea what would come next. That was the first time I went against the crowd, and it opened doors to bigger opportunities. Take action. Ask yourself, what am I doing just because everyone else is doing it? Is lest one saf, in the tains lest less. And we note of the bribe, are you studying something you don't care about or working a job you hate just because it's stable? Find your own path. If you want to start a business, don't wait until you graduate. Start now, open an online store, launch a YouTube channel, or try dropshipping. Stop taking advice from people who aren't where you want to be. If someone isn't living the life you dream of, don't let them steer your direction. I once had a friend tell me, online business is a scam. Just get a government job. I ignored him, and now I have 10 times more freedom than he does. Secret #2. Bet on yourself. Believe in yourself. Success doesn't come from waiting for someone to lead you up to the stage. It comes when you bet on yourself, believing you can do it even when the whole world doubts you. I once worked at a big company, earning 6 figures a year and driving a Mercedes, but I still wasn't satisfied. I wanted freedom. I wanted to build something of my own. So I quit, even though family and friends called me crazy. My first startup failed spectacularly. I opened an online sports store, but nobody bought anything. I lost all my savings and even had to put my beloved Mercedes up for sale. When there was only $500 left in my account, I wondered, should I give up and go back to being an employee? But I told myself, Min, you've come this far. Try one more time. I pivoted to teaching communication and dating skills, something I was passionate about. And you know what? It took off. A few months later, I made 10 times what I lost. This taught me that self-belief is the most powerful fuel. When you bet on yourself, you're telling the universe, I deserve big things. Take action. Write down a big goal. What do you want in 5-10 years? $1 million company? A YouTube channel with millions of subs? Write it in detail and place it somewhere you'll see every day. Start small. You don't have to quit your job immediately. Try a side project freelance, sell online, or learn a new skill like video making. Cheer yourself on. Every day, look in the mirror and say, I can do this. I am a man of value. It sounds cheesy, but it works like crazy. Secret #3. Embrace failure, fall hard to grow strong. One of the biggest fears people have is failure. They fear rejection, losing money, being laughed at. But here's the truth. Failure is the only path to success. Everyone I know, from millionaire entrepreneurs to Hollywood actors, failed countless times before winning big. I failed 5 times in a row when starting businesses. Each time I lost money and time, and heard people say, Min, you can't do it, quit. But each failure taught me something. The first time I learned that skipping market research is suicide. The second time I learned how to manage finances. By the 6th attempt, when I launched my current business, I finally had enough experience to succeed. A funny story. When I was learning how to talk to women, I was rejected terribly. I went to a bar, mustered the courage, and said to a girl, Hi, you're beautiful. Can I buy you a drink? She looked at me, gave a polite smile, and said, Thanks, but I'm not thirsty. I wanted to crawl into a hole, but instead of quitting, I told myself, Okay, try a different approach next time. I learned to talk more naturally, and now I can start a conversation with anyone without fearing rejection. Take action. Try something new. Sign up for a class, start a project, or talk to a stranger. Accept that you might fail. That's how you learn. Record the lessons. After each failure, write down what you learned. I keep a notebook titled like, Failure #7. Didn't check competitors. Next time, research more. Make failure a game. Think of failure like a video game. You lose a round, you adapt your strategy, and you try again. Don't let it stop you. Secret #4. Take calculated risks, not blind ones. Being bold doesn't mean jumping into danger without thinking. You need to take calculated risks. That means weighing the odds before you act. I once heard a quote, throw a bunch of ideas at the wall and see what sticks. That's exactly how I built my career. For example, when I decided to launch my YouTube channel about communication skills, I didn't just upload random videos. I studied the market. Who are my competitors? What do viewers want? What can I do differently? I invested a small amount in filming equipment, learned how to edit videos, and experimented with different content ideas. Some videos completely flopped, only 10 views after a week. But I didn't quit. Instead, I analyzed. This one was too long. Make the next one shorter. Slowly, the channel grew, and now it's one of my main sources of income. Here's a real-life story. When I first started out, I wanted to open a coffee shop. I was excited, but instead of rushing in, I spent 3 months researching location, competitors, and costs. Eventually, I realized I didn't have enough capital, and the market was already saturated. I dropped the idea, but I didn't see it as a failure. I saved hundreds of millions of VND and learned how to evaluate risks. Take action. Do your research before acting. Want to start a business? Learn about your market, your customers, and your competitors. Google and YouTube are your best friends. Test small. Don't pour all your money into one idea. Start small, like opening a Shopee store with just 1 million VND. Set deadlines. Don't let ideas drag on forever. I usually tell myself, if this project doesn't show promise in 3 months, I'll pivot. Secret #5. Build a grand strategy. Know what you want in life. To take bold risks effectively, you need a grand strategy, a clear vision of where you want to be in 10 or 20 years. When I was a kid, I dreamed of a free life, living in a coastal city, driving a nice car, and doing what I love. Every decision I made, from quitting my job to starting my own business, was guided by one question. Does this bring me closer to that dream? Think of yourself as a general on the battlefield. You don't just fight random small battles, you fight with the end goal in mind, to capture the fortress. So what's your fortress? Where do you want to live? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be with? What impact do you want to leave on the world? Once you have the answers, every decision becomes clearer. For example, my grand strategy is simple: achieve financial freedom, do work that helps people, and have time for my family. That's why I focus on online businesses, scalable, time-efficient, and stock investing, passive income. Every time a new opportunity comes my way, I ask myself, does this move me closer to my ultimate goal? If the answer is no, I walk away no matter how tempting it looks. Take action. Write your grand strategy. Spend 30 minutes writing what you want your life to look like in 10 years. Be as detailed as possible. Live in Dalat, own a tech company, have a wooden house, and travel 3 months every year. That's Supinda down. The Nother Quadson. Reverse engineer your plan. From your big goal, break it down into steps. For example, want financial freedom? Start by saving 10% of your income, investing, and learning new high-value skills. Remind yourself daily. Place your goal somewhere visible. Your phone screen. Your desk. It'll keep you aligned and focused. Secret #6. Compete like crazy, never settle for losing. Life is a battlefield, and if you don't compete, you'll be left behind. I'm a fiercely competitive person not because I want to crush others, but because I want to crush my own limits. When I played football, there were games where our team got destroyed down by 21 points in the final quarter, but I refused to give up. I shouted to my teammates, "Come on, let's at least score one more, let's leave a mark." And many times we fought back, scored in the last minute, even if we didn't win. That mindset applies to everything in life. When my business hit a rough patch, say, a month with a big revenue drop, I didn't panic. I hit the gas harder, tried new strategies, improved my products, found new customers. The result? I always found a way to bounce back stronger. A real story. When I started my YouTube channel, a few people mocked me. "Your videos suck. No one's gonna watch that." Instead of getting upset, I used it as fuel. I studied bigger channels, improved my filming, and uploaded consistently. Now, my channel has thousands of followers, and those critics? They've gone silent. Take action. Develop a competitive mindset. Join a sport, play a game, or set a personal challenge, like running 5 kilometers in under 25 minutes. Competition builds strength and focus. Turn criticism into fuel. When someone says you can't do it, prove them wrong through results. Don't fear the vultures. Life is full of predators like me, people who never stop moving forward. Be one of them, not the prey. Secret 7. Success is about creating value. Money will follow. At the end of the day, the most important secret is this. Success comes from contributing value to the world. Money is not the goal. It's the result. When you help others solve problems, money will naturally come to you. My business succeeded because I helped thousands of people improve their communication skills, gain confidence, and live better lives. Every video, every course I created was designed to deliver real value. A touching story. I deeply love animals, especially dogs. When my dog Cash became seriously ill, I spent thousands of dollars trying to save him, moving from one hospital to another, even paying for an MRI, though the doctor said there was only an 8% chance. In the end, Cash could no longer walk, but I knew I had done everything I could. More importantly, because of money, I was able to donate to animal protection organizations, helping other dogs live better lives. That's why I work hard. Not just for myself, but to make a difference. Take action now. Find ways to contribute. Ask yourself, who can I help? What problems can I solve? For example, if you're good at cooking, make simple cooking tutorial videos. Learn from those ahead of you. Look for people who have succeeded in your field and study how they create value. I once watched Alex Becker's videos and learned how to build a brand. Give before you receive. Don't think only about money. Do something for free. Write a blog, help a friend, or volunteer. The value you create will return to you many times over. A real story. The time I almost gave up. So you don't think I was always fearlessly successful. Let me share this story. When I started my 11th business, I nearly went bankrupt. I had lost all my savings, was drowning in debt, and my family told me, just get a stable job. One night, I sat in my small apartment, staring at a bank balance of only $500, thinking, it's over. Maybe I'm just not good enough. Then I remembered a line from the movie Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. The world doesn't meet you halfway. If you want it, you gotta take it. I decided to try one more time, even with just a sliver of hope. I threw myself into a new project, worked 16 hours a day, and slowly, it started to make money. If I had quit that night, I wouldn't have the life I do today. This story reminds me, When you're at rock bottom, that's when you must take the boldest risks. Don't give up. Success might be just one step away. Act today. You may think, sounds great, but where do I start? Don't worry, here's a simple starter plan. Today, write down one thing you want to achieve. For example, start an online store, learn a new skill. Ask yourself, will this bring me closer to my bigger dream? This week, take one small bold action. Sign up for a course, talk to a stranger, or upload your first TikTok video. Accept that failure is part of the process. Long term, build a bigger strategy and pursue it. Each month, review your progress. How much closer am I to my goal? The Fries Lake Tub. Thank you, S2. Final words. Bet on yourself. Life is like a game of cards, and you're the only one who decides where to place your bet. Don't wait for someone to put you on stage. Don't just do what everyone else does. Be bold. Bet on yourself, and accept that failure is part of the game. I was once broke, I failed many times, but every time I stood back up, I became stronger. And so can you. So, where will you place your bet today? On a new idea? A daring project? Or simply the belief in yourself? Take action, because life doesn't wait for anyone.